Let me get to Lis Wiehl from the Fox News Channel. Nice enough to join us today. Lis, how are you?
Doing great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. I just want you to know I was in New York in mid-December, carried a gooey butter cake all the way to the Fox News headquarters, and apparently you were already on your 1-month sabbatical.
Oh, you carried a gooey butter cake for me?
I'm just teasing. You told me I owed you one time because I canceled on you.
Did you eat it all up?
I had to eat it.
Yeah, butter cake.
Had to eat it all. I hope you had a great holiday.
Yeah, I did. Did you have the nuts on the top? They're so good.
Usually they put a little bit of powdered sugar on the top of it, I think.
They're
Yeah.
so good.
Oh, I know.
Yummy, yum, yum. I hope you enjoyed it.
We did. So Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you as well.
It's going to be a fun year. I know that.
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
And we're going to be talking about Twitter, I think, every day.
I think, did I hear right that President Trump is going to be keeping his Twitter account?
That's what I've heard.
Wow, interesting.
It's why I said I would never have. I don't understand why Sean Spicer agreed to that job.
Well,
he's going to have to prepare
tough,
every day.
Like, no, Mr. President, please don't. Please don't be watching a TV show and be Twittering. But, okay.
Yeah. Today he called Chuck Schumer a clown on Twitter.
Oh,
so
I didn't hear that.
Should be fun.
I've been so busy on Legalese Radio, I have not watched any television. I did not hear that.
So
we'll be entertained, that's for sure.
We definitely will. What do you think of the top issues from your point of view when Congress gets back to work here eventually?
Because I'm legalese, so I go right to Supreme Court vacancies.
Yes.
That's for me because that's my perspective. The Senate's got to confirm, a bunch of executive branch appointments. They get through all those, then they get it right to the Supreme Court justices and the head of major departments and agencies. They've got to get right to that. I mean, you've got eight Supremes right there. You can't have that go along much longer. They're kind of hobbling through, and you just can't have that going on.
I was a little surprised that this week on Capitol Hill, U.S. senators have still agreed to meet with Merrick Garland, although he's clearly never going to get a vote. Why are they wasting time on that?
I think we're out of respect. I think the guy deserves respect. He would not be a bad candidate. I mean, when Obama presented him, I think he knew that Trump might be the candidate and might actually get it, and then might be someone that both sides could take. Garland is not a liberal Democrat. He's not. And I think the Republicans could stomach him. I really do. Now, will he be one that Obama is going to put forward? Probably not. But Garland's got the creds. I mean, he should at least get the respect to get an appointment.
Well,
I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a political pawn, but he had to realize that, I think, when he accepted it.
I think he knew it.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, he's been sitting out there for months.
But what about...
I wrote a column about him, I think, a couple of months ago. This was a couple of months ago, on FoxNews.com, saying he's been out there for the longest time of any nomination, and that was a couple of months ago I wrote that column. So,
well, what about the lower court appointees, though? Because, I mean, there are bound to be some of those sitting out there, too, that are going to have to, positions that are going to have to be filled pretty quickly. And, Chuck Schumer, I think Chuck Schumer is going to tie things up.
Point. We focus on the Supreme, but yes, there are many, many lower court appointments have just been sitting out there waiting like, hello, where are we? Limbo land, fill us or not fill us, just tell, because it's so much in limbo land that all these lower court appointments have not been filled. Mm-hmm. And that's really, we all focus on the Supreme Court. And I am, it's my fault as well because I focus on that so much. But there are people out there in our country that are waiting for their cases to be adjudicated, and they're not being adjudicated. Why? Because they have no judges to go to. They have no judges to go to. Why? Because there's nobody on the bench.
Right.
Oh, we'll get to you ma'am, sir, when we get a judge. When will that be? Ma'am, sir, we're not sure.
Yeah.
6 months, 9 months. Well, can you tell us? Oh, we're not sure.
I believe that.
Can you imagine how frustrating? We all pay our taxes. We all, live in this country. Can you imagine how frustrating that is?
Yeah, and hopefully they'll address it. I think when they lowered the bar for a vote, it only affected Supreme Court justices, correct?
Right.
So they can still tie up lower court picks, but I'm hoping that they'll let that move ahead pretty quick. Before we run out of time, Lisa, I wanted to ask you real quick about this Dylan Roof sentencing phase. I know that's happening down in South Carolina today.
Today, right? Exactly.
So he sort of represented himself through this whole thing. He was found competent. Is he facing the death penalty down there?
He is. He's facing the death penalty. The judge, and I really respect this judge, who sent him to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist said he's competent. Now, competent doesn't mean you sit for the SAT and get 800 or 16, whatever. You're not the brainiac, but you're competent. That means you know what's being said about you. You know what you're facing, death penalty, and you want to defend yourself. But it also means that these jurors are to look at him in the face, and that may make it harder for them to say death. Right when you're looking at a person, even though it's far away, he's sitting at the booth, and say death.
Yeah.
But he killed 9 people.
Yeah, if anybody ever qualified for that, this guy's right up there.
Yeah, but, you and I are sitting far away, and you and I are,
sure.
But when you're really actually in that jury booth and you're saying you got to go to bed at night, wash your makeup off, or you brush your hair and say, I said death to that person, that may make it hard. If there's a lawyer there, it's much easier to say to a lawyer, death.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. But they're going to have to stare at him.
But on the other hand, I'm a lawyer. I can argue both sides. If there's a lawyer and the lawyer is saying no death, it's much easier to say to the lawyer, death.
Sure. But in this case, he's representing himself, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And the judge has said multiple times, you have a right to a lawyer. And if you don't have a lawyer, there's no right to appeal because you don't have a lawyer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, yeah.
Something tells me that sentencing phase isn't going to take long, I don't think.
I don't think so.
No. Lis Wiehl, Fox News Channel, thanks for your time. Happy New Year.
You got it. Have a great beginning in 2017, and let's all hope and pray for a great year.
Absolutely. Take care of yourself. Thank you.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. Legal